Okay, so this is my audience. There is a word from ancient Aztec that I want you to carry on for today, which is Tlatoani. In Nawa, this was a title given to the highest ruler of the land. It was the language of the Aztec civilization. It wasn't the strongest and it wasn't the wealthiest. It wasn't the most feared. It meant, quite simply, the one who speaks. To understand the weight of the title, we can look to the historical research published by the University of Oklahoma Press, which confirms that Tlatoani literally translates to he who speaks, distinguishing the leader not as a warrior, but as the primary voice of the community. Think about what that reveals. In one of the most powerful empires of the history of America, leadership was not defined by a sword or a throne. It was defined by the ability to use their words, to articulate a vision, and to move people, to give a voice to what the community needed and where it was going. For Tlatoani, it was not merely a command. He spoke, and in speaking, he led. This wasn't just luck, it was a cultural discipline. Dr. Miguel León Portilla, a leading authority in Nahua culture, explains that the Aztec practiced Huachatlaotomi, or ancient words. This was a sophisticated form of oratory used to ensure that the leader's voice carried the moral and cultural values for its entire civilization. It tells us that the Mexican people have always used words for their most enduring moments. We live in a world that often mistakes volume for vision and noise for meaning, but the Aztecs understood that we are still learning, and that the most lasting power of a leader can carry is not only in their hands, but in their voice, in the clarity of what they say, and the courage of when they choose to say it. These words did not disappear. When the ancient cities fell, they crossed oceans and survived centuries. Writing for the Journal of Latin American Anthropology, researcher Francis emphasized that the heritage survived merely because of its deeply embedded oral tradition, a voice that refused to be silenced even by the passage of time. Today, Mexican American heritage is a heritage built not only on monuments of stones, but on thousands of years of resilient words. They shape cuisines, culture, and entire worldviews. And even now, they live inside our language, whether you know it or not. In fact, research from the Smithsonian Institution of National Museum of the American Indian points out that words that we use every day, like tomato, chocolate, and avocado, are linguistic gifts from this heritage. Every time we speak these words, we are participating in a conversation that began thousands of years ago in the Valley of Mexico. But the legacy of the speaker is not just about words we inherited. It's about words we choose to create. In Mexican culture, we have a voice that is our responsibility to be collective. It is the understanding that when we speak, we're not expressing just an opinion, we are weaving for the next thread of our history. Whether we are advocating for justice, sharing our family's story, or simply speaking up for someone who has been silenced, we are stepping into the ancient role of the Tlatoani. We are proving that as a community, strength is measured by the courage of its speakers. When a cultural word for ruler means speaker, the culture has something powerful to teach us all. It reminds us that our words are the most important tools for connections, for leadership, and for change. I invite you to think about your own voice. Are you using it just to create noise, or are you using it to create a vision? Because, as the history of the Tlatoani shows us, the person who speaks the truth and clarity doesn't just hold the title, they hold the power to move the world. Thank you.